Jake from JacobTubeHD, and welcome back to the movie I want to talk about. The show that I can apparently do in my sleep, judging by the predicament I'm in. The good news is that I can do an episode in my pajamas. The bad news is that apparently my dream has boundaries and I cannot leave this room. I tried my hardest, but the dream won't let me leave. Seriously, I've really tried hard. Very hard. And the scientific discovery is that people can do movie reviews in their sleep and upload it to the internet. So do with that what you will. Okay? Just do it. So I've thought about what I should do in this dream, and I think the only logical thing I can do here is to review a movie franchise about nightmares, even though dreams aren't supposed to be logical. I literally could have imagined anything. Fucking anything in a dream, and yet I'm imagining me doing a movie review. I am dreaming of me doing a movie review, even though that's just something I do when I'm awake, except for the fact that I can't access my fucking cool Halloween set because I cannot leave this room. Because apparently I got limits in dreams. I don't know how that's possible, but dreams have limitations to me. But you know what? On the positive side, there's some good stuff about this dream. Like, I got my copy of Super Smash Bros. Melee for the GameCube. And if you're wondering why I keep mentioning that game, then don't. I can just go on and on about anything I love without stopping. And without reason, too, okay? I would kill for that game. You got it? Kill. I would kill for that game. Alright? That was $90 and it's in really good condition and it came with the instruction manual. Alright? So zip it. Also, I just realized this is episode 12 of the show. And I remember, you know Eddie the Demon, right? Right? Yeah, you remember him. I think you mentioned something about, episode 13 of the show and something bad happening, but I don't know, I just ignored him. So let's just move on to a movie review, even though I don't know how you guys would be seeing this, okay? Logic doesn't exist. This is a dream episode. Literally go to anything that takes place in a dream. There's no logic whatsoever. So let's just jump straight into it. This is A Nightmare on Elm Street. This film is about Nancy and her friends becoming the victims of the spirit of a serial killer named Freddy Krueger, who haunts and attacks them in their dreams. Nancy must uncover the mystery of Freddy and how to defeat him before the dreams become real and Freddy kills them one by one. Whatever premonition that's deciding these movies is pretty clever, since this film, like Scream, was directed by Wes Craven. Also, this first film apparently has Johnny Depp, since this was the first movie he acted in. Freddy Krueger is one of the most creative horror villains ever. He is a character that makes a dream a reality. He can tear your clothes and they'll be ripped when you wake up. It's an amazing concept, especially because every dream scene seems like it could be a reality. Also, Robert Englund gives an amazing performance as Freddy. That's an impressive feat to do, especially under all that makeup. The makeup and the practical effects are top notch. Every murder and everything Freddy does is done practically, and it is incredible some of the things they were able to pull off here. Heather Langenkamp, who plays Nancy, is brilliant in this film, making you emotionally attached to her character through her performance. The other characters were alright. They didn't feel disposable, but none of them stood out in the way Nancy did. The parents are insufferable, but they aren't the focus of the film, and they were probably created to be insufferable so you can relate to Nancy even more. This film is an incredible feat in the horror genre, with amazing practical effects and an incredible final girl. A Nightmare on Elm Street gets a 4 out of 5 worms because holy shit, that was the most disgusting scene in this film. Also, Evil Dead was on her TV. The unintentional cross promotion between these reviews is just so weird and insane. And oh my god, wait, Evil Dead was on Nancy's TV. Is that a sign? Was Eddie in the Evil Dead review? Was Eddie in that review? Was he right? Is something bad gonna happen to me? It's probably just a coincidence and means nothing. Anyway, let's just move on to the next movie in this dream that I have no control over. Like, literally, whoever's up there, can you just give me at least one fun thing in this dream? Like, just one thing! Just one thing! A CD of Beats, Rhymes, and Life from a Tribe Called Quest. It's not Quest's best album, but, this will do. Thanks, Dream Gods! Once again, it's my favorite, but what really goes on is very slept on. I suppose I just gotta move on to the next movie in order to get one step closer to waking up. So, let's just jump straight into it, I guess. This is A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. This film is about Jesse and his family moving into a house on Elm Street. Jesse starts having nightmares about Freddy, but this time he's trying to enter the real world by possessing him and making him do his bidding. No one from the original film returns besides Freddy himself, as we have a new cast of characters. I love how this film tries to be different from the original. Instead of Freddy picking off teens one by one, he slowly breaks down one teen to take control of him and kill people through him. Most of the deaths occur at the end of the movie. It's really interesting seeing Freddy break the sanity of Jesse until Freddy takes full control. It's a very unique concept, especially compared to the other films I've reviewed this month. I still like Nancy more as a character, but Jesse is a standout. None of the other characters are that compelling, or if they are compelling, they don't have enough screen time for me to grow a huge connection to them. Lisa, who is Jesse's girlfriend, is the only character to get close to the connection I have with Jesse. The practical effects are incredible like the last one, and Freddy is as great as he was before, despite appearing less in this one. Like I said before, most of the kills don't come until the final half hour, so Freddy doesn't show up much until the final half hour. It doesn't ruin the film for me, but it could for others. It really depends on what you're looking for in a Nightmare on Elm Street sequel. The kills are great and incredible, but you do need the patience to get there, which is something I love about this film. If you're looking for a killing spree like in the last film and not really cool kills that happen in the last half hour, then this film isn't for you. However, if you are looking for a really cool character study that breaks the norm from what this franchise could have set in its sequel, then this film is 1000% for you. Nightmare on Elm Street 2 gets a 4 out of 5 weird baby face dog things. Whatever these things are, that's my rating system for this film. I've really got nothing to do to pass the time between movies. Like, all this shit, this is just normally what's in my room. I wish in this dream that I was listening to Break of Dawn by De La Soul right now while flying majestically through the sky. But instead I'm just stuck here reviewing movies. This dream's lame. Actually, how is this dream possible where I just can't control shit? What kind of Inception shit, business, whatever is this? Let's just get to the next movie. I can't be bothered by this shit. This is A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. This film is about Kristen, who gets admitted into a mental institute after having a dream about Freddy. She is admitted into an institute with other patients who experience nightmares about Freddy. Nancy from the first film gets hired by the hospital to deal with these teens. Nancy helps these teens realize their special abilities in the nightmare world and helps them defeat Freddy like she did once before. This film does what you'd expect the Nightmare on Elm Street film would do, except it's way more ridiculous than the first film. The first film was scary because it seemed realistic. Even the rules of the nightmare seemed more realistic than special abilities they can have in their nightmares. It's some weird Inception shit. Freddy kills people in ridiculous ways, but the practical effects to create these deaths are incredible. Robert Englund is terrific as Freddy, but this time he is more funny than scary here. I didn't really connect to any of the characters in this film besides Nancy, whose connection I had with her in the first film continues here. She's the heart of this film and really the only grounded thing in this movie. This film is campy and ridiculous. This could be right up your alley, but for me, it's very predictable and is a step down from how creative the second film was. Nightmare on Elm Street 3 gets a 3 out of 5 Bane puppets. So let me get this straight. These kids have superpowers in their dreams and I don't. One can look as pretty as they want and another one can fix their disability. And I'm stuck here reviewing Nightmare on Elm Street films. Is that fair? No, I don't think that's fair. I want cool powers. Shit. That was fucking awesome. I think I'm finally starting to take control of my own dream. I wonder if I can make other things fly. You know, that was a stupid question. If I can make shoes fly, then anything can fly if I wave my hand like I did. No, I wish I could fly, but I guess making other objects fly will have to do. Anyway, let's just get into the next movie. This is A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. This film is about Kristen and the other survivors of the last film, so here's the consistency I thought this franchise would have. She's played by a different actress here, with Dream Warriors being played by Patricia Arquette and Dream Master being played by Tuesday Knight, but at least we got the same actors playing the other two survivors. Freddy comes back to terrorize them and other teens, but this time Freddy's taking advantage of the ability to drag people into your dreams, which newcomer Alice has possessed. This film takes no time for setup, as we jump straight into Freddy's back and we need to stop him. No time to set up new characters or catch up with old ones. We're just launched into the nightmares and Freddy trying to kill people. You can tell Wes Craven is not involved with this film at all. He was only a writer on the last film, but here he has no involvement besides creating the character of Freddy. Everything just feels rushed here. It's around the same length of the other films, but it just feels like we're rushing through everything. I have no connection to any character here. Even the returning guys from the last film I have no connection to because I didn't connect to them in their last movie. The film is just taking away what makes these films different for more weird dream elements and Freddy killing people in more ridiculous ways. Freddy is great, but he's more funny than he is scary. He was terrifying in the first two films, but now he's more of a joke with funny one-liners and ways of killing people. Also, every film gets more and more ridiculous with these dream powers. The new element in the second film was unique and exciting, and now the differences are how many more dream powers can we add to a somewhat grounded series. People are absorbing dream powers in this film. How did we get from a murderer killing people in dreams to absorbing other people's dream powers? Why do we even have dream powers in the first place? Fuck, she can even absorb the people who've died and start acting like them. What the fuck? The practical effects are always on point, and that's no exception here. There's also some really cool camera movements I really like here. The only good things to come out of this film is the Are You Ready for Freddy song from Fat Boys and A Nightmare on My Street, which was supposed to be in the movie from Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff, but producers decided against its inclusion. This film is proof of how ridiculous this franchise is getting, and I'm betting it's only going to get worse from here. Nightmare on Elm Street 4 gets a 2 out of 5 dogs that piss fire. Seriously, what's with this franchise and things that look like dogs related to dogs? Huh. It's weird. Door just randomly opened in my dream. Am I finally going to explore what's outside of this room and see what else is in this dream? Huh. I guess there's only one way to find out. There's nothing interesting out there. This is what my house looks like in the real world. This dream's so boring. Well, we've officially reached to the halfway point of this franchise, so that's nice. You know, I'm dreading the next ones, but fuck it, because it's just the day of my life. You know, let's just move on to the next film before I cry. This is A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. This film is about Alice and Dan, who both survived the last film. Freddy's back and he's trying to use Alice's unborn child to attack her and the teens during the day through the baby sleeping and to be reborn into the real world. Alice has to free the spirit of Freddy's dead mother in order to stop him once and for all, because why not? Let me get my compliments out of the way, since they are the same as last time. Freddy's fun and the practical effects are great. Now let's get to the review. Why is this franchise still going? There's once again no proper time to spend with any of these people. It's just, here's the characters, now watch them die. I don't even care about Alice, who's in another film that didn't have any time to set up the characters and make me give a shit about any of them. I want to care about these people, but the film makes it so goddamn hard when we have no time to spend with any of these people. We're just thrusted into the plot with only minutes of seeing these characters before we start our journey with Freddy. Also, how does this franchise get more and more ridiculous when I think it's reached its peak craziness? This shit is more and more ridiculous. Honestly, I've just become numb to it. I'm not even surprised that they've resorted to Freddy using a baby sleeping to kill people. I'm not surprised that people are getting sucked into comics and ultrasounds. I'm just done. We're on number 5 and I'm losing my mind. This film is the reason why I'm insane, as it's just a further decline in this franchise that just gets more and more crazier. And honestly, I don't even care if the main characters live or die, which shouldn't be something I'm hoping for. This film gets a 2 out of 5. Is that kid named Jacob? Alice's kid. Am I the kid that Freddy is trying to be reborn through? This franchise is so insane that I'm starting to become a part of it. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is that? How did that happen? Was that a sign? And was that kid being named Jacob also a sign? I don't know if it's this franchise or if I'm just spending way too much time in this dream. You know, let's just look into the next film. This is Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare. A nice spoiler of a title. This film is about Freddy Krueger after he killed all of the kids and teenagers in his hometown of Springwood. Freddy finds a home for troubled teens and begins to prey upon them and their counselor Maggie. I didn't think this franchise could get worse. I don't even know what to say about this film. This is the most bizarre film in the franchise, and that's saying something because the bizarre bar for this franchise has been set pretty fucking high. My criticism about the last few films has been that these films don't set up the characters for me to get invested in them. This film doesn't even try at all. There are like 5 main characters and we only barely get to learn about 2 of them. We don't even know how Freddy came back to life in this film. He's just there and we have to live with it. The deaths are the craziest they've ever been. Deaths were creative and even disgusting in the first 2 films. Now they are just cartoony and bad shit insane. Freddy lost all of his scariness in the other films, and now he's not even funny anymore. Robert Englund is still a great performer, but his lines are just trying to throw catchphrases on the wall to see if something sticks, like "Welcome to Prime Time, bitch" from the 3rd film. We learn more about Freddy's origins here, which are good scenes, but they just get buried under all the crazy and ridiculous shit in this film. I would like this film if it was just about Freddy's origins, but instead we get Freddy controlling kids in video games. This film is so crazy that the ending is viewable in 3D. You can view the film's ending in 3D with those fucking paper red and blue 3D glasses. You know this franchise jumped the shark when this film ended in 3D at a time when 3D was just paper glasses with red and blue lenses. This film doesn't even try. The only thing it tried to do was just go completely overboard, and it succeeded at that even when I thought this franchise couldn't get worse. Freddy's Dead gets a 1 out of 5 acid trips. I'm really going insane. I'm in my own dream and I am going insane. Yeah, you are, but you'll get sane. Maybe not right after this dream, but sometime after it. Holy shit, I am going insane. I have a fucking clone. It's a dream. Literally anything can happen. So who are you? A clone my subconscious conjured? No, I'm actually you from the future. So if you're me from the future, then why did you time travel to a fucking dream? I need to set the timeline straight since this happened to me in that dream. I got a set amount of time I need to be here for, so ask whatever you want. Okay, well, where from the future are you from? Like a day from now. So you're me when I wake up. Not like right after you wake up, but like later in the day. Well, that sucks. How do I get out of this dream then? You're actually doing the right thing by reviewing these movies in your dream. You got 2 films left to review, and then you're free. Awesome! So who's controlling this dream? Someone who is trying to hurt you and take away something you love the most. But you'll be fine just as long as you don't give up and keep moving forward by reviewing these last two movies. Okay, I have one last question. Was Eddie the Demon from the Evil Dead review right? And what the fuck is gonna happen to me during episode 13? Ooh, I just went through this. So, when you wake up from the dream, you'll find that... No! I have to know what this shit means. I have to know what it means. You know what? It's fine. He said I got 2 movies left, and then I'm done, and then I'll wake up and face whatever this 13 shit is myself. I just have to relax. It's just 2 more movies. Just 2. I review movies all the time. I just reviewed 6 of them in my sleep. And these next 2 are outside of the continuity of the other 6 films, so maybe they might be good. And this next film even has Wes Craven back as the writer and director, and he's even in the fucking movie. So maybe this one will be really good. So let's finish this shit. This is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. This film is about Heather Langenkamp and her son Dylan seeing strange signs and occurrences around the 10th anniversary of the original Elm Street film. A new evil emerges in the real world and takes the form of the fictional character Freddy Krueger. The only way for Heather to stop the evil is to play Nancy one last time in a new Nightmare on Elm Street film Wes Craven is developing. As you can see, this film is not in the same continuity as the other films. Heather is playing a version of herself in this film. Robert Englund is also playing himself, as well as other actors from the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Wes Craven is back as the writer and director, and he even plays a role in this film. I'm so glad this film exists because this is the breath of fresh air I've needed with this franchise. I love the concept that this is taking place in the real world with Heather. It definitely grounds this franchise after how crazy it has gotten over all these films. This film isn't just a killing spree with characters you don't get to know, but a slow burn very similar to the second film, and with a characterized version of Heather you can fall in love with and root for to survive and protect her son Dylan. Freddy is much scarier here and less like the way he acted in the second half of the franchise. We don't really see Freddy in action until closer to the end of this film. This is the closest this franchise has gotten to the scary level the first film was at, with scenes filled to the brim with suspense. The few kills here are great, and the practical effects are always great. The final giant set piece in this film looks fantastic, and is the best final set piece in the entire franchise. Also, this film feels like it's laying the groundwork for Scream with how meta it can get, with how much talk there is about the Nightmare on Elm Street films, and how their existence correlates to the evil entity embodying Freddy. Also, it's filled to the brim with references to the first film. This film was needed as it provides new life into the franchise by bringing back elements these films were missing, like the suspense, the amazing but grounded deaths, and characters you can connect to and want to see survive and receive a happy ending. New Nightmare gets a 4 out of 5 Sleepwalking Children. Here it is, the final movie in the franchise. I'm so excited to finally... The fuck is this? Is that a teleprompter? Why am I reading off a teleprompter in my dream? You know, let's just see what the shit says. Jacob acknowledges the teleprompter, but does nothing about it, like the other hints to what's happening next episode Jacob has acknowledged. Hey! I don't ignore hints or premonitions, okay? I'm just trying to keep the episode moving along so I can get out of this dream, okay? Have I been ignoring hints that might be important? Yes. Yes, you are. Huh. Okay, can I continue to ignore hints so I can get out of this dream? Yes. Yes, you can. Okay, great. Thank you, teleprompter. Thank you so much. Alright, now let's head into the last film in this franchise. Before you guys mention it, I'm not reviewing Freddy vs. Jason here. Despite it continuing the continuity of the Elm Street films, I'm not reviewing it here because I consider it Nightmare on Elm Street 7 and Friday the 13th 11. it has both Freddy and Jason and therefore continuing both of their stories. So I don't feel like segregating that film into one franchise. Plus, I should review all the Friday the 13th films before diving into the crossover. So with that elephant in the room out of the way, let's finish this franchise. This is A Nightmare on Elm Street, the reboot. This film is about a group of friends becoming the victims of the spirit of a serial killer named Freddy Krueger, who haunts and attacks them in their dreams. They must uncover the mystery of Freddy and how to defeat him before the dreams become real and Freddy kills them one by one. You know your movie is bad when I can't figure out who the main protagonist is for 30 minutes. I feel like most of these films I just say the same shit, but literally our main protagonist gets barely any screen time in the first half hour and we focus solely on someone who's just gonna die. We get to see these characters for a minute and then Freddy comes and the plot starts. One of these characters is actually called Nancy and she's barely in a third of the movie. Since this is a reboot, they obviously have to recreate scenes from the original, but much shittier. Freddy is decent in this film. Jackie Earle Haley is certainly no Robert Englund, but he's at least trying to make the character his own. I don't like that Freddy taunts people more than he kills people. It is to set up a larger narrative and a mystery these characters need to solve about their past and Freddy, but it's just weird how the second person that dies has so many interactions with Freddy before she finally kicks the bucket. At least the kills here are more grounded than ones in the original franchise, and the mystery in this film can be intriguing at times and other times predictable, but why would I care about any of these characters when we barely get to know them outside this mystery and maybe like a minute before the plot gets going? This reboot brings a couple interesting things to the table, but doesn't bring enough for me to care about these characters. If you're going to reboot a horror classic, then you need to give me characters to care about in order for it to not feel like a shitty copy of the original. A Nightmare on Elm Street, the reboot, gets a 2 out of 5 Mr. Krabs because holy shit, Clancy Brown is in this movie. I feel like they should bump this film up a point, right? Like, Mr. Krabs is in this movie. That's just incredible. So, is this it? Is this the end of the dream? Can I wake up now? No? Oh, I forgot that with these franchise reviews, I do an overall final thoughts section. I'm sorry, Dream Gods. I'm sorry. Won't happen again. Won't happen again. Overall, the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise has its quality moments, but is mostly filled with underdeveloped characters and just gets thrusted into plot and horror that isn't actually scary, but is just trying to give birth to the next funny catchphrase. There's some creative films here that break the mold, and by some I mean two if you don't count the original, but it's mostly just how far can we run the original format into the ground. My favorite film is obviously the original for being the most grounded, having the best characters, and having the best Freddy. Freddy's Revenge and New Nightmare are close seconds for trying to reinvent the wheel with this franchise. My least favorite is Freddy's Dead for being the most ridiculous and losing any and all charm the films before it had. And that's it for A Nightmare on Elm Street. Time to wake up! What the fuck is this? I reviewed all the movies. Please let me go. Please let me go. Is this because I didn't do Freddy versus Jason? I'll do it at some point, I swear. Oh my god, please. No, please no. Oh god, the door's opening. I don't know what it means. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die, please. Please don't kill me, please. If you're gonna kill me, please kill me in a cooler way. Don't use the butter knife, please. Kill me any other way but the butter knife. I don't even know if that can kill people. That's gonna be like a slow and painful way to die. I don't want to go out like that, please. Please, I've been a good boy. I've been a good boy. The weirdest dream I've ever had. It's weirder than that dream where I met Mr. Clean in Mexico. Well, I don't know how into that, but win's a win, I guess. Well, I'll just play my copy of Super Smash Bros. Melee for the GameCube until I have to do the last review. Ah! Where is Smash Bros. Melee? Who the fuck took my copy of Super Smash Bros. Melee for the GameCube? I swear to God, I'm gonna kill the person who did this. I'm gonna fucking kill them. I'm gonna fucking kill them. And how is my computer on if I've been sleeping all night? So, we have a bunch of random letters in a predetermined order with extra letters that need to be placed into the word or words. Damn it, I haven't played Wordle in a year. Wait a minute. Are those the fucking fonts of every movie I've reviewed on this show? That H is Hocus Pocus 2, and that D is Bad Trip. So what does this mean? No. No, there's no way that it spells this, even though I swore I would never review that movie. Let's fucking get to work.